Broncos think they have the guy. They think Bo Nix is ready to play right now and will be as good as any quarterback of all this rookie class. So suddenly, this franchise that was a mess and all this dead cap money with Russell Wilson, they took a big swing on it. They just got Zach Wilson. He'll get a reboot, talented kid. And they have Jarrett Stidham, who they could use potentially as a very nice trade piece. 66 quarterbacks played in the NFL last year. Pretty nice to have 3 guys, and you could move 2 of them. So if Bo Nix hits, the Russell Wilson drama is irrelevant. The dude completed 77% of his passes last year. He's Drew Brees with mobility potentially. And I'm going to tell you something now, and nobody wants to say this because fear drives so many decisions in the NFL. The word dead cap, when you hear that, everybody thinks, oh, it's a funeral. It's an NFL funeral. Dead cap money. I would much rather have teams take swings and end up with a little dead cap. 4 of the 5 highest dead cap hits last year made the playoffs. Green Bay took a big swing. They moved off Aaron Rodgers. Buccaneers made a big swing with Brady, won a Super Bowl. And then they took a swing on Baker. If Bo Nix can play, then the Russell Wilson thing, it's going to be last year's news. Nobody's going to care. Take a big swing. It's either going to get you gold bars and trophies or close to it. And if not, it's amazing the opportunities that arise if you hit on a draft pick. You don't even have to have Caleb Williams. Brock Purdy is getting to big games. Bo Nix can absolutely do the same with Sean Payton. So oftentimes with stories, you will see a drip, drip, drip with a story. That's not your job to check it out. We're paid to do that. You see the little drips? Is that going to become a forest fire? Is that faucet going to break officially? So keep your eye on the Steelers, Russell, Justin Fields. So according to Jeremy Fowler, a lot of the media has downplayed this. Jeremy Fowler is poking and prodding. He is not. He says the Steelers are, according to his sources, taking a very open-minded approach to this. Russell is now hurt. And so this is important. We've all gone into workplaces, and sometimes, I've had 7 or 8 jobs in my life. Some workplaces, I remember taking a job in Tampa, and I felt like everybody was old and I was young, and I kind of felt like displaced and didn't really connect. In the Vegas newsroom or at Fox, it depends. You walk into workplaces, some are older, some are younger, some are more alpha, some are whatever. But Pittsburgh's workplace under Mike Tomlin is alpha, loud, drama, physical. We don't think it as a brilliant schematic offensive Kansas City, Rams, San Francisco. No. They blow stuff up. They knock you over. They punch you in the mouth. I mean, yesterday there's a story, and this is not a unique Steelers story, where George Pickens, star receiver, got into a screaming match with a coach. That's Pittsburgh's culture. That's not Russell. Russell's focused, an adult, can be sort of into Russell Wilson. This is a guy who, you want my phone number, go through my agent. Those are the stories. He's kind of mature. And I think to some of the younger players, I wonder about the fit in Pittsburgh, which is blue collar, tough, alpha, physical, loud. And a shouting match yesterday with a receiver and a star receiver and a coach. And so here he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 11 years. Last time he's been to one, 11 years. Justin Fields is young, cooler, athletic, 11 years younger, more athletic, and I think he's going to connect with a lot of young teammates for the Steelers. And now he's getting the snaps and Russell isn't because Russell's banged up. So you cannot convince me. Look at that Steelers schedule. There are 2-game losing streaks all over that schedule. And they've struggled to get the offensive line right. So unless the offensive line suddenly gets great, if the Steelers are losing games, it's not going to be because of their defense or their pass rush or their toughness. Those are hallmarks and staples under Tomlin. They're going to be losing because they can't get the offense right. And who gets blamed for that? The quarterback. Now, Tomlin historically has had patience with Kenny Pickett. but he didn't have Justin Fields backing up Kenny Pickett. So you look at that, they could easily go on the road and go 0-2 to Atlanta and Denver to start. Then it's Harbaugh, Anthony Richardson, Dak. Oh, they'll beat the Raiders, but it's Aaron Rodgers the next week. Well, they'll beat the Giants. Well, then they're at Washington. Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. That schedule, the last 6-7 weeks, starting in like week 10, week 11, that is just landmines everywhere. So I just think it's interesting. Work environments. Pittsburgh's got one of the more alpha, tough, physical, motivational, trash-talking rooms in the league. And I'm not making a judgment on it. That's just what it is. I mean, a few years ago, Mike Tomlin was running up the sidelines. It looked like he wanted to tackle a player during a game. That's what they are. Heavy on the drama and the emotion and physicality and alpha. And I just don't feel like that's not necessarily Russell Wilson. Here's Mike Tomlin talking about the quarterback snaps right now.
From a health standpoint, no real update. Russ worked partially today and expect him to get going a little bit as we come off this off day.
You expect to be able to see Russ in some team periods next week?
That's what I said.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's already getting a little short with the Pittsburgh media. J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. Here we go. It is a Monday. We're live in Los Angeles. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. 1 hour from now, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. So I sat down yesterday and watched a ton of the Olympics. Started in the morning, watching Team USA struggle early. That's sort of their MO. And then come back to beat Serbia and Jokic. But I think it's, J-Mac, it's pretty obvious there's one player for Team USA, and it jumps off the television set. One player, we've been told for years, is Shaq. And that one player does not fit with this team.
He's not a great FIBA player. That's very clear so far.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, the NBA media voted Joel Embiid over a Jokic as MVP. It was really an anti-Jokic vote because Jokic is a more valuable player. He's a better player, and it's not particularly close if you watch yesterday. But the league's stewards, the media, did not want Jokic to win a third straight MVP, even though he's hands down the most valuable player, and you saw it yesterday. It's why the NBA media regularly kind of chooses cool stories over the truth. And I think increasingly people want the truth from their media. But I think it's official, watching Embiid yesterday, where Steve Kerr pulled him off the floor 2.5 minutes into the game against Serbia. He is the most overhyped, coddled, and over-discussed, player in the NBA. I mean, Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, it's not close. They're not the same player. They're not remotely close to the same level of player. Beyond padding his stats, Philadelphia keeps running coaches through him and teammates through him. And in the weaker Eastern Conference, he is yet to win a second-round playoff series. I'm not asking for much, just maybe one Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee was all beat up this year. I mean, the Knicks fell apart physically. So did Miami. Can you win a second playoff series in the significantly weaker conference? The other thing is he's never played 70 games. Remember, his career started, he was hurt for the first 2 years, never played 70 games. We bang on AD, but AD the last couple of years is there every night. So you can't depend on him physically. And then you watch this Olympics, and it is the best players in the world, and he is an atrocious fit. He doesn't fit at all. And remember, the FIBA rules don't call as many fouls, and he lives at the free throw line. So you take that element out of his game at the Olympics, he's not only not effective, he hurts the team. And FIBA rules are good for bigs. Jokic is dominant, AD's great, Bam's great. Embiid can't play here. And again, when you watch Jokic and Embiid on the floor at the same time, they've given him James Harden. They've given him Jimmy Butler. They've given him Ben Simmons. Remember, Ben Simmons made an all-star game. And he can't win a second-round playoff series in the East. Jokic has never had a single teammate that's been an all-star. He's already got a trophy. And yesterday, the plus minus for Jokic.